Okay, we're going to continue where we left off Thursday night. Okay, we started discussing kashering the house for Pesach. So we got sidetracked on Thursday, but generally speaking, there's really four ways, but there's three general ways that you can kasher things year-round and for Pesach. Now, kashering for Pesach, because Pesach is stricter than year-round, things become nullified 1 in 60. Chametz and Pesach never becomes nullified. So therefore, kashering of Pesach is stricter for Pesach than it is year-round. But there's three general ways of kashering. Now, we discussed Thursday night that the way something goes in is the way it goes out. If it's a kasherable material, not earthenware, not other things, because it never gives it out completely. But those materials that are kasherable, so the rule is the way it goes in, that's the way it goes out. For instance, if you cook chametz tikka soup, so then it went in through liquid, so you kosher it through liquid. If it went in like you have a grill, okay, that it mamish, the meat touches the grill, or whatever, so then you need to make it red hot. Now, the difference conceptually between kashering with what's called hagala, which is the purging process, versus libun process, because even in libun, which is the burning process, there's two categories also. There's what's called libun kal. Libun kal means the lighter way of libun, and libun gomur, the complete way of getting it. Now, libun gomur means you make it red hot. Okay, so let's say you have a grate or a grill that you put chametz on during the year because it went out with direct fire. The only way you're going to get it kosher is by making that thing completely red hot. That's libun gomur. Certain things that didn't become treif like that or chametz like that, so then you can kosher it with libun kal. What's the definition of libun kal? You put, practically speaking, let's say you put a blowtorch on it in a way that if you would put halacha says a piece of straw on the other side, it would turn black. It would burn. But without getting into the lamdas of the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, but the way the Rebbe Rashab learns in the Alter Rebbe, it's like this. If the pot is clean, okay, and you want to blowtorch it, libun kal, if it's hot enough that if you touch it, you burn your hand, you'd have to remove your finger, that's good enough. Libun gomur is making it red hot. What's the difference between libun, kal, and gomur, and hagala, the purging process with hot water? So, and this is very important to know, there's a lot of differences that come out of this halacha, in practical halacha. Hagala is, okay, this is later. This was used with hot water for chametz, okay? So how do I kasher it? We'll learn, you have to spotlessly clean. It cannot be coating. It cannot be Teflon or any of these, these coated types of things. Then you put it into boiling hot water. We'll learn more of the process and just explain the concept. You take this pan and you put it into a larger pot of boiling hot water. What does that kasher's process accomplish? That the absorption, like we learned Thursday night, what's absorbed within the keli now comes out. Okay? So if this was treif or chametz stick, I put it into boiling hot water. Okay? And we'll learn the details of it. So then, the absorption comes out into the water, and therefore this pot now is kosher or Pesach thick or whatever it may be. Now, libun, on the other hand, according to the Alter Rebbe, also the lighter level of libun, not everybody agrees with the Alter Rebbe, but the Alter Rebbe holds even the lighter level of libun destroys what's in it. It doesn't spit it out. It actually burns it. It gets rid of it. Okay, guys, it's a fundamental difference. Libun destroys it. Hagala spits it out.
But Libun Kal also destroys it?
According to the Alter Rebbe, yes. Now, what's the difference between these two kashering processes, besides the technical aspect of it? Okay, if I'm going to kosher this pot, okay, now remember, if we learned Thursday night, after 24 hours, the taste is blemished. Remember we learned that? Learned that Thursday night. Becomes blemished. Within 24 hours, the absorption is still a fresh taste. Okay? So if I were to kasher this pot, I'm kashering this pot, and within 24 hours of its usage with hot, okay? So now what happens, I'm going to put it into a big pot. I'm going to leave it in there for a few seconds. So the absorption is going to come out into the water. What's stopping it from going back in? We learned heat makes spit out and heat makes absorb. So if I'm going to kasher this pot and the absorption is going out, so then as soon as it goes out, it's going to go back in because it's hot. Now, the Gemara discusses, let's say for argument's sake, it takes 10 seconds to get everything out. Okay? Let's say it takes 10 seconds. So if I leave it in there for 10 seconds, all the absorption comes out. Now for those 10 seconds, it's not going to go back in. And the rule in halacha language is, Aidi detarta lemiflat leibalit. It's busy spitting out, it can't absorb. In simple English, when you're busy talking, you can't hear. No, when you spit out, that's the fact. So as long as it's spitting out, so then we're not afraid it's going to go back in because it's busy spitting it out. But what happens if it takes 10 seconds to spit it out and I leave it in there for 15 seconds? So then, remember, it's a fresh taste because it's within 24 hours. So then this taste that I just spit out into the big pot is going to go back into this pot again. So what I'm not accomplishing anything by kashering it. So therefore the halacha is, I'm talking practical, I'm not talking law. In practical halacha, anytime I want to kasher something with boiling hot water, it cannot be used for hot for 24 hours. Why? Because then the taste, the blemished taste, the taste inside the pot becomes blemished. It's not real meat, it's not real milk, it's not real chametz, correct? So now that it comes out, so what comes out in the water is a blemished taste. So we really don't care if it goes back in, because it's a blemished taste. What do I care if it goes back in? It's a blemished taste. It's not meat or milk, it's not chametz. So therefore, when you want to kasher something with hot water, then you need to make sure you don't use it for it's clean, and you didn't use it for 24 hours prior to the time you want to kasher it. One second. Because again, it's spitting out, and we're afraid it's going to go back in. We don't know how long it takes to spit out. But right after it spits out, then it's going to start absorbing it back in. Okay? That's with Hagala. But Libun, when I take a blowtorch to something, I'm not spitting it out, I'm destroying it. So then it could be done that day also. Because I'm not afraid it's going to come out and it's a fresh taste, and this taste, and that taste. It's not coming out. I'm destroying, with the blowtorch, I'm destroying the taste that's absorbed within the walls of the utensil. So therefore, when you do libun, and according to Alter Rebbe, even libun kal, then you don't need 24 hours. You can kasher it right away. So let's say somebody has an oven that they use within 24 hours, and now they want to kasher it. And they're going to kosher it with self-cleaning, which is libun gomor. Well, we'll get that in a second. The old ones were, the new ones are questionable. The old ones would get up to 900 degrees. The normal self-cleaning ovens that we used to have, okay, the heat gets up to 900 degrees. 900 degrees, according to almost all poskim, is libun gomor. It's like mamish, like making it red hot.
Even though you don't see like the grates turning red hot.
Right. By the way, if you would, but you can't, because in self-cleaning there's a door that comes down to block the heat.
Yeah.
Okay. So inside you would see it that it's red hot. Not 1 second. 900 degrees is very hot. Now there's new types of self-cleaning ovens. All the new gadgets are a disaster. So there's a new self-cleaning oven that's called Aqualift, and the GE makes it, and the other people make it, that the self-cleaning cycle only gets up to 250 degrees. How does it clean it with 250 degrees? The 900 degrees actually burns everything out. That's how it cleans it. How does the self-cleaning work? It's so hot, it burns everything out. But these new self-cleaning ovens, because 900 degrees is not safe, and it does, and they break, whatever, so they made new self-cleaning ovens. They get up to 250 degrees, but there's chemicals in the self-cleaning process that cleans it out of the walls. The problem is, that's not Lieben Gomor. It didn't get red hot. Huh? It's Lieben Kal. But if you hold that you need Lieben Gomor, then you can't do it.
So going to Alter Rebbe will be fine?
Huh?
Going to Alter Rebbe will be fine?
What?
Lieben Kal.
No, not in an oven. Alter Rebbe you need Lieben Gomor. But there are people that make Lieben Kal, but it's not Lieben Gomor, it's only Lieben Kal. So these are issues that, but conceptually, it's very important to understand when you're kashering things for Pesach, whether it's cutlery, whether it's a Kiddush cup, whether it's metal utensils, that you want to kasher with hot water, they have to be cleaned, spotlessly cleaned, and they have to not be used for 24 hours. Like if you want to kasher your sink for Pesach, let's say you have a stainless steel sink, and you want to kasher your sink for Pesach, and you're going to do it by pouring boiling hot water all over the sink. In order to do that properly, the sink cannot be used for hot for 24 hours. Because if the sink is used for hot for 24 hours, then again you have fresh taste in it coming out, so it's not going to be good.
That sink drains out right away.
Yeah, but the absorption, it becomes absorbed in the walls of the sink. So what you have to do is make sure the sink is not used for 24 hours. Now, from experience, I could tell you, there's things called, I always say this by the classes, there's things that are called housekeepers, husbands, and kids. In which order are they worse? We'll leave it to your imagination. Probably. Now, if you just tell the people in the house, don't use the sink for hot, the chances of that not happening is between 0 and -10. It's not going to happen. So how do you make sure the sink is not used for 24 hours for hot? So there's only two things you have to do. Number one, underneath the sink you have to close the hot water. But you close the hot water, that nobody could turn on the hot water. And then you have also people, called husbands, kids, and housekeepers, that will pour hot coffee down the sink. So then what you need to do is cover the sink with something to basically a strong reminder that you don't do it. Huh? Do not use. So then you can keep the sink not hot for 24 hours, and then you can kasher it that way. What?
So when would you make a differentiation between Lieben Kal and Lieben Gomor?
With what?
The Alter Rebbe seems to hold.
No, but sometimes something that goes in directly on fire, Lieben Kal is not going to be enough. Because it goes in with direct fire, it goes in deeper than the blowtorch fire is going to take it out.
Can you give examples?
I just gave you an example.
So an oven versus a pot.
If you have a grate, a barbecue grill,
Barbecue grill is Lieben Gomor, right?
the barbecue grill, you put meat, okay, or tray for chametz, whatever, okay, you put it directly on the grate.
Yeah.
That's going into the grate with direct fire.
Right, okay.
That, in order to kash it from something that goes with direct fire, you need Lieben Gomor.
So an oven, don't you usually have pots or porcelain? Or
So that's, some opinions are makel, a lot of opinions are makel, that because today's ovens, we don't put food directly in it, we put it in a pan, and therefore it's not really touching directly. That is the heter some people use, and we don't, for Pesach, at least for ourselves, we don't go with that kula. And many poskim don't go with that kula. It's a big argument to contemporary poskim if that's good enough heter to Lieben Kal for an oven, because things do spill, things do fall over, and it is direct fire. So the question, do you go by the majority of usage, not the majority of usage? It's a lot of different things. Okay, anyway,